Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I didn't upload my previous war video for war number 6, and it's because I only had really 2 fights and I didn't want to kind of like make a separate video for that. Did record the fights and I'll show them at the end of this video. So this is going to be Alliance War number 7, a war that is currently happening and going on, and it's New Nation against PALO. Now, towards the very end of the season, officers of the New Nation decided that we will be trying to win our last wars, because this kind of like win some, lose some arrangement seemingly didn't appease to everyone and kind of caused quite a bit of miscommunication. That being said, we're obviously still trying to preserve as much loyalty as possible. And this time around, I'm actually doing slightly different path. I'm starting on path 3 in section 1, and then I'm doing path 4 in section 2. I'm going to be using Hulkling, Nebula, and Warlock. And there's going to be some very weird interactions. It's hard to doubt. I don't even know myself what was happening in this first fight, or exactly how that interaction was meant to work. But it was quite interesting. So I'm going to be boosting up fairly big, as I always do pretty much for all the wars, just because we seemingly have been increasing the amount of 30% boost that we're acquiring, so I don't feel as kind of hard-pressed to save them. So on path 3, we have this new designed lane where basically champions with armor ups will cause you to lose power, and all sorts of bad things will happen, basically. It's going to switch to this screen, and it's Nimrod. And I'm using Hulkling against that. And here we're going to see that I am special locked quite a lot, which is fine. And then I do again miss parry. Parry has been awful to me recently. Luckily, it's not like the biggest deal, and I'm actually going to end up healing to almost full back throughout this fight. And here I get clipped again, but we do have regeneration buff coming, and I'm at 3 bars of power here. Also, because I'm consistently trying to be power or special locked, seemingly Hulkling has infinite amount of charges here, but it won't even really matter, because here I drop my level 3 and I'm still at level 3. Now I am special locked or whatever it is. I do have cowardice debuff on me, but I didn't lose my power. And here we do away at level 1, and I'm like, well, I have 3 bars of power, might as well use it. So I just throw another level 3, and that's kind of going to be the rest of the fight here, where I just spammed level 3 button because my power never went away. And again, you can see that I'm special locked. My debuffs, waiting for him to use the special attack. Sweet. I should have probably thrown my level 3 here immediately. And wait, I do as well. Even though he's still unstoppable, I don't really care. As long as I don't push him to level 3, there's, you know, not much to worry about. And we can see, so this is the 3rd level 3, and I'm not using any power boost or anything. You guys saw that. And yeah, I'm still at 3 bars of power, so what am I to do? You know, just finish off the fight with regular combo, but I could have just thrown another special 3. So I don't know exactly what was happening there in that fight. And I mean, it worked out. And now this is Angela, and Angela is a conduit defender. And I initially thought that I might as well just wait until the boss is taken down, because I, you know, wasn't holding anybody back, and then clear my fights. But then I realized, wait, it's Angela. Depending on the sig level, Angela reduces the duration of damaging debuffs on her based on the amount of buffs. And she's gonna have at least 2 buffs, so even if I trigger conduit, and even if she's relatively low sig or something like that, it shouldn't be too bad. Here I did get parried myself, but again, it's not going to be the biggest of deal, because I'm going to get some healing back in from armor breaks, from having the regen buffs. Again, Hulkling in these fights has like infinite amount of shapeshifting charges, and it was a very, very simple, straightforward fight. And yeah, conduit wasn't a problem here at all, because Angela just gets rid of her damage overtime effects herself by her abilities significantly quicker. It's kind of like interesting that at the moment in conduit meta, I would say that unduped Angela is likely far better defender than a high sig one, just because of that sig ability. Now here I'm going to be going up against rank 4 Omega Sentinel, and we have Special Burst Lockdown, and that node that lets her go unblockable if I reach 3 debuffs. And this fight is going to be actually super straightforward. Now, she can have 100% increased ability accuracy. I mean, she does have 100% increased ability accuracy, which meant that I need to get to 10 charges before I start hitting her in order to take care of the node and her abilities, which is something that I did. And now for the rest of the fight, it's very easy. Just don't parry, bait out level 1s, and get to level 3. And that will be it. That's going to be this entire fight. Since it's Nebula going up against Robot, not a single node matters at the moment. Not a single ability that Omega Sentinel has matters at all. And yeah, obviously Nebula without shocks isn't doing the greatest amount of damage by herself initially. But as soon as I'm going to throw that level 3, obviously we're going to change that quite quickly. And this is a very straightforward kind of like vanilla fight. Man, Nebula is such an amazing niche champion these days. I cannot understate how powerful she is in like specific fights. And I love the fact that I do have a rank 3 Nebula. And now I'm just trying to bait out her level 1. And every time I strike her, we are shocking her as well, which is, you know, quite sweet. So obviously she's going down significantly quicker now after that level 3. And yeah, there's not too much to worry. I'm baiting out another level 1, taking that on block. Now, I know I can dex it all pretty easily, but I just figured I'll play safe rather than fancy. And also I didn't need Nebula for any other fight. And this is a fight that definitely brings back memories here. Because this used to be a very, very, very popular placement a while back in Alliance Wars. And I have done this fight probably like 8 times. It's been months since I last did it, but I definitely have done it a lot. And the entire key to this fight is fairly straightforward. Just don't let Havok use a single special attack. So parry a lot. Only tap him with a couple of hits now and then. Slowly but surely build up to level 2. Again, ideally try to keep him below a bar of power. And that is definitely doable. Especially if whoever places Havok runs willpower. Then when you get to level 2, a single level 2 is going to do like a massive amount of damage. You need to avoid throwing heavy attacks in this fight, because every time you throw a heavy attack, Warlock will place bleed on Havok, and that will inflict a plasma on you. And if you throw 2 heavy attacks, then you're kind of screwed, because with that heal block debuff, that's going to be 3 debuffs, and he's going to go unblockable for the rest of the fight. But as long as you don't throw heavies, just parry a lot, get your level 2s. It's a very straightforward fight. I did slip up there a tiny bit, but it didn't cost us too much. And that was it for this last war, which is War 7. We have 2 more left till end of the season. At the moment, New Nation is, I think, 2nd place in Plat 1. So we're likely going to get back up in Masters bracket after this war, which is probably where we're going to finish off the season at like bottom half of Masters. And yeah, after I did my fights, we were winning the war, and we did die a couple of times, and we did make this closer than it should have been, because for quite a while it was 9-8. But at the moment, it does look like we're going to get the W, and we kind of reestablish our lead, because obviously we were ahead in exploration as well. So not the cleanest war for New Nation overall, but a win is a win, and so well played to PALO. And this previous war is against LEAPS, Latin American players. I only had 2 fights in this war because I had, you know, nobody placed on my Section 1 path, and I only have to do this path 4 again. And we have against Steady and Blockable. And I'm actually going to be using Joe Fixit for this one. The assignment was Kingpin, but since I had placed Liquid Courage Double Edge back on, and knowing that Joe Fixit is kind of perfect for this fight, my assigned team actually was Hood, Mr. Sinister, and then Kingpin for that Null fight. But I figured out I'm going to swap out Hood for Joe Fixit, and bring in good old Joe for war, as I have done quite a few times in off-season, because Joe obviously handles Liquid Courage Double Edge decently well, and I can use him for this Tiger fight. Only thing that I had to make sure is that I wait out until my bleed debuff expires before I push Tiger to a level 1. That was super important, because if I had pushed her to level 1 quickly, it would have given me 3 debuffs, and Tiger would have went blockable. But since I waited it out, when she threw a special attack, I only had 2 debuffs, and I was still, you know, within the limit of under 3. So she never went unblockable, and a couple of level 1s was more than enough to finish off this fight. And now we have Null on this steady build-up unblockable node, and this isn't going to be a pretty fight by any means. But Kingpin is obviously very good counter. It's just sometimes, based on the SIG level what Null is on, you know, the starts are kind of iffy. But here I noticed that he is not unblockable anymore, and I am, so that is obviously quite helpful. And there I am trying to bait out his heavy attack. I want to push him to level 2, because at no point I want him to be able to reverse my controls. And whenever he's going to throw his level 2, I'm basically going to purify all of those debuffs anyways. Here I do kind of get hit a little bit, but it's okay, because it's Kingpin. And then I just charge a heavy attack with that big belly. As I said, it's a bit of a sloppy fight, nothing too special there. And I'm going to push him to another level 2. Well, and he never really gets throw that one, because Kingpin finishes the fight out. And yeah, we did win that fight as well. And yeah, now we're winning this fight against PALO. That leaves us with 2 more wars in the season, and I can't wait for it to finish, because this entire season just has been such a clown show, so frustrating. And worst of all, absolutely worth none of the headache that it has given to anyone due to rank rewards not being updated. But on the bright side, after this season finishes, we're going to be closer to season 37 that allegedly is going to have amazing set of rewards. So let me know how are your seasons going, and I will catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about